Hello, everyone. I wanted to come here today to give you a quick reading for the year ahead. What is a message that would be helpful for you to keep in mind going into and experiencing everything that comes to you in 2023? What I'm going to do is shortly here, I'm going to show you a picture with 3 piles. And then I want you to choose whichever one you feel drawn to. What I will give you is a message to help guide you in the coming year. I already said that, didn't I? Okay. So this isn't about predicting what's going to happen. I am a firm believer that you create your life. It's not about what is going to come to you from the inside. What it is truly about is what you create based upon your inner reality. What you desire can be yours. It is simply a matter of aligning with it and understanding better how you're creating your reality. Or not even understanding better, simply just learning how to be more yourself, learning how to focus on what you want without getting in the way with your mind, because our minds tend to think too much. Our minds tend to use logic too much, and logic is not the best advisor when it comes for us to create what we want, because we can't always use logic to understand what's coming. That's why we come and get tarot readings, isn't it? Because we understand that we can't logically predict the future. Now, what I believe is that, like I said, you create it. And the advice in these cards are for helping you to make the best of the energies that you're entering into so that you can be in the driver's seat and work towards what you desire. Now, this is obviously a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. But understand that, these can work in different ways for different people. There's only so much that I can express in such a short time and to so many people that might be watching this. So if you would like to see about yourself, your personal situation, I have a reading that I do, the year ahead reading, and it's perfect for, the new year, but you can do it at any time. We'll look at 12 months ahead, and it looks at each specific month within the next 12 months and the energies that will be coming into play for you, and useful advice for how you can work through those energies, how you can make the best of it, and how you can best work towards what you want, how you can take the reins and not simply be thrown around by the energies that are happening. How can you make the best of it? Now, this pick a card reading will give you advice in that direction, but remember, the best way to see about your particular situation is to get a reading for yourself. So check out the description of this video and I will give you a link to this particular year ahead reading. Right now, I just turned 40. Crazy. And I am doing a special that will only last today and tomorrow. So if you're watching this after January 1st, 2023, the special deal is no longer in effect, but you can still get the reading. So click on the link to go check out the reading and book yours today. Special offer will only be available until January 1st, 2023. Now, let's get on with the pick a card reading. Take a moment to focus on the piles, and I will give you a few seconds of it, but put it on pause if you need some more time. What message do you need to navigate 2023? Ready? Let's go. Let's get into your reading if you chose pile number 1. All right, here we go. So these are your cards. This is from Abstraction. This one here is from Intuitive Messages Oracle. Now, the message for you for the coming year, if you chose pile number 1, is don't worry about how, focus on why. And here's what I'm getting from these cards here is we can get lost in how things can happen, in what do we need to do, what is the big picture, how is what we want going to come to be. But all that does is get our minds running around confused, trying to figure out all of the steps. They call it analysis paralysis for a reason, because our minds get ahead of us and just try to see the whole entire picture before getting started, when what really happens is that sometimes you couldn't possibly understand the whole path that you will take ahead of time. A lot of the time, it's about one step at a time. When you're trying to get to the second floor of a building, of a house, you don't go you don't do it the whole entire thing in one step. You can't necessarily even know all of the steps. It's sometimes the staircase itself could be winding, or there's, like in my house, we have a staircase that goes here and then it turns around and then it goes up. So technically, using that as a metaphor, we don't necessarily see all of the steps that will lead us to the second floor. Analogies are not perfect, but it's a good way to think of it. And that's the message for you, pile 1, group 1, for the coming year is, sorry, let's see here. Okay. Don't worry about how. Focus on why. Focus on why you want what you want, and just take the first step. Take the next step. Focus on what you're doing next. Focus on why you're doing it. And if you keep your why in mind, you won't get lost trying to understand the big picture ahead of time. That will help you to keep from getting lost in your mind, confused, going around and around and around in circles, and not actually getting anything done. So keep it in mind. Forget about the how. Focus on the why. That will help you get out of your mind and keep you focused on what you can do, on focus what's next, focusing on how you feel. That the why will help you with that as well. And that is super important, because that is what drives us. That is what keeps us moving. So focusing on why you want what you want, how you will feel having what you want, and bring that feeling to you now and allow that to drive the next step that you can take. And don't worry about how big it might be to get to where you want to go. Don't worry about not knowing how to get there, because it is by taking the steps and by the imperfect action that we take one step at a time, and then adjust and learn and adjust. And that way you will actually make progress towards what you want, rather than being stuck in analysis paralysis, in a circle, in a whirlwind in your head, never actually taking any practical steps towards what you want. So that's the advice I have for you to keep in mind this year. Keep it in the back of your mind when you start to get a little bit lost in the whirlwind. Oh my God, I can't seem to put that word out of my mouth today, in the whirlwind of your mental, but how? Say, nope, let's put that aside. Let me think about why I want this. Let me refocus myself on, yes, this is the feeling, this is the why. All right. Moving on to pile number 2. Here is your reading, your message for the coming year, what to keep in mind as you go through the year. Here we go. We have this card from Abstraction and this one here from Intuitive Messages Oracle. No answer is also an answer. I feel like this one was recently a message that came up as a daily message and people didn't like this one too much. But that's the thing. We get a little insistent on things sometimes. And we feel like we need a response. We feel like we need people to react or act in a certain way. And if we don't get it, we continue to insist upon it. And no answer is also an answer. Something that maybe is a little difficult for us to accept sometimes. Now, with this card here, it feels like a lot of fire. It feels like a lot of passion. It feels like there's a lot that would be moving you, inspiring you, making you want to move towards what you want, wanting to get others to take part in what you're doing, and yet maybe some frustration not getting the responses that you think you should be getting, wanting to insist upon getting the kind of answer that you're looking for. But here's the thing, and here's the message for this year. Just because you're feeling what you're feeling, you're reacting to life in your way, it doesn't mean that other people are going to respond in kind. It doesn't mean that other people will necessarily match your energy. And that's okay. What that means is that it's not right for you. It's not right for them. It's not a right combination. No answer is also an answer. It means it's not necessarily right for your energy as you're feeling it. So this is a reminder for the coming year. Don't insist upon things if they're not working. That is also an answer from the universe. If you're not getting a response by doing what you're doing, maybe take a step back, get back into your energy and ask yourself, what is most important to me? What is the bottom line here? What is it that I truly want at the bottom of it? Maybe thinking of no answer is also an answer from the universe. Maybe your mind is getting in the way and trying to pursue something that is not the correct path for you or towards the essence of your desire. An example that I like to think, that I like to give when I'm thinking of this is that sometimes, or to illustrate how sometimes we seek the outer manifestation of something in order to give us an inner manifestation or a different result, where we're looking for something that we think is going to give us something else. So the example, the analogy that I think of in this context is, let's say somebody is thinking of being a doctor, and their reason for doing so is because doctors make a lot of money. Now, there's a lot of other things that come into the mix for being a doctor. They'll have long hours, they have lots of studying, and maybe that's not the right way for the person to make the kind of money that they want to make. They could be a lawyer, they could do many other things and make the kind of money that they make. The bottom line for them is, I think this is a profession that will make me a lot of money. So being a doctor is not the only avenue towards that goal. Now, it's an imperfect analogy, but it helps to illustrate the point of the basic point of there are more avenues towards the bottom line, towards the ultimate goal. And that is something for you to think about when what you're trying, the actions that you're taking are not giving you any results. Go back to your passion, go back to the bottom line. What is it that is driving you in this direction that you have chosen? Maybe there are other ways towards the deeper desire that you're seeking to create. So come back to yourself this year and ask yourself, what is the deeper desire? What is it that I am truly seeking to create? And maybe I can find a different avenue if the avenue that you're choosing is not working for you. All right, group number 2. I hope that was helpful and that this gives you something for you to ponder throughout the year. Here we go, group number 3 with pile 3. What is the message for you for this coming year? What do you need to know? What to keep in mind in 2023. All right, here we go. Here are your cards from Intuitive Messages Oracle, Go Deeper. And then this one here, can you see it? This one from Abstraction. Now, what these two cards together are making me think of is don't stay at a surface level that you want to make it a point to keep digging deeper, to seeing your deeper motivations, what is driving you beneath the surface. If you stay in the surface, if you just try to, if you try to keep just looking at things from above, it will be cloudy and confused. You want to not stay above, not stay vague. You want to get down into the details, down into the meaty part of things, down into the depths. I'm trying to think of an example, but nothing is coming to mind right now. See, look, even this is feeling a little confused. So don't just gloss over things. Seek to ask yourself, but why? But is that really all there is? Maybe there's more underneath it. That's, oh, you guys, your energy is not wanting to be read very much. All I can think of is go deeper. Don't stay on the surface. Don't, like, right now, the impulse that I have is kind of like, okay, that's it. Let's go away now. But I can't figure this out. Maybe I'll just make this one really quick. The other two piles had these longer, more in-depth, easy ways of getting down into it, that it just kind of came to me. And this one, I'm kind of just wanting to be like, yeah, I don't know. I can't think of an example. So let's just go. And don't do that. I guess that's the message. Don't stay here. Stick with it. Don't try to, I don't know what it is for you. And it may be different things throughout the year, but don't try to move too quickly through things. Give it the attention it deserves. Dive deeper. Just because you don't understand it right away, just because you can't see more clearly or more deeply, or just because you don't have an answer right away, don't move on too quickly. Stick with it. take some time if you don't get answers right away for the things that are important to you, for the things that are confusing you, for the ways forward throughout the year. Make it a point to stay with it, to quiet yourself and sit in the silence, even sit in the confusion. Give it time for you to penetrate your confusion. Don't let it be just, I'm confused, so I'm going to move on and do something that I don't feel confused about. No. Allow yourself to feel it. It will be through sitting there in silence, in the feelings of not knowing, allowing it to exist, and maybe focusing more on the question even, don't necessarily look for easy answers. Take the time to sit with the questions that come up, sit with the problems, the issues, the obstacles, the things that get in your way. Sit with it. Don't think that just because you can't come up with an answer right away that you need to move on. Give yourself the time, the space, the mental silence even. I keep coming back to silence. I keep wanting to say, sit quietly with it. Whatever it is, and maybe it's a general theme for you throughout the year. Take the time. Take the time. Allow it to be. Right now, I keep wanting to hurry up and wrap this up, but that's not what it's about. It's not about hurrying up and wrapping it up. It's about sitting with it. Let it marinate. Sit with the clouds. Allow yourself to sink into them. It's through staying with it that you will allow the answers to become clearer, that you will allow the clouds to slowly dissipate. And that will be the best advice that you can follow this year. Take the time, sit with it, allow it to be. I think that's what I have for you right now. This was a different one. This was a harder one. This is a more confusing one. And that's kind of the theme it seems you may deal with. So don't allow confusion to make you anxious. Maybe just choose to embrace it and see how you can sit with it to allow the answers to come to you. Okay. All right. That's enough for that one. That's what I got for you. I hope that was helpful.